Alright, Bladefall Scourge, necromancer, quick easy build guide thing. Ready to go. So, the basic idea of this build is taking what would normally be just a generic necromancer spellcaster build with all the offering buffs and turning minion stuff into your stuff, and adding in the new unique, the Scourge, which is pretty straightforward. Increases and reductions to minion damage also affect you, gives you some minion damage, gives you some wolves on kill. But the big thing about this is it takes minion damage and turns it into generic damage, which means it will double dip on things like ignite, or in the case of this build, it double dips on poison. So for the passive tree, the ascendancy stuff, just regular necromancer, let your offerings affect you, get buffs when you do the offerings, auras get damage buffs, and then for the last 2 points you can either grab Beacon of Corruption or grab these two nodes just for the straight up minion damage. I chose this. I kind of like the poison clouds. Some people have said that they would do otherwise. It's up to you. For the regular tree, it is a CI tree, so we've got CI, standard Volpact Ghost Reaver stuff. And then pretty much for getting our damage on the tree, we get to take a little bit of minion damage, but not a whole lot. It does give us some nice pathing, get area damage, and then kind of focus on things that double dip poison or heavily affect either the poison in the case of this node or heavily affect the fizz hits in the case of Force Shaper. Grab your ES and grab some mana nodes and some aura nodes, which help with the sustain, because Bladefall does get rather expensive on a 6 link. This is a 106 cost, even though I have 2 jewels, reducing the cost a bit. But aside from that, we get the dual curse, and then just stack as much defense as we can. For the gear, we've got the Scourge, obviously, and then Eye of Chayula. You can also use a Valyrium, you just need some sort of stun immunity. I chose Blood Dance for my boots because they give dexterity and they give you a lot of frenzy charges while you're mapping, which is nice. And then the other big thing, aside from just getting ES everywhere else, is some mana regen. I think you need ideally 2 items with some regen, and then you can see now I can fully sustain the cost of my Bladefall if I'm spamming it. For flasks, got an Aziri flask, very important because this is one of our main sources of leech alongside the boot enchant here. It gives you the chaos damage leech does life, which you have quite a lot of chaos damage. When you swap in Spirit Offering, it goes even higher. And then a Witchfire brew, which is why we grabbed this dual curse, so that we can get vulnerability around without having to invest in more mana reservation or anything like that. For the gems links itself on the Bladefall, you got Spell Echo, Control Destruction, Added Chaos, AoE, Poison, swap AoE with Concentrated Effect for bosses, and ideally you could also swap probably Concentrated Effect or Added Chaos for Void Manipulation. It would be roughly the same damage, but it kind of puts it into the poison instead of the initial hit. Then we got Castle Damage Taken set up. We've got our auras, Whirling Blades, Flesh Offering, and Vol Haste with their duration stuff. And then in the claw itself is just support gems, because any support gems in the claw actually support the dogs that get summoned by the claw. So you'll see they'll be running around real fast in this map I'm about to open up, and they'll be poisoning enemies because they have the poison support as well. So just doing a pretty easy map. Vuln, monster life, monster damage, T11. And let's get right into it. What's really nice about this build is, thanks to Flesh Offering's insane cast speed, attack speed, move speed buff, and Vol Haste doing basically the same thing, we get pretty quick on zooming through maps here. If you're looking for a fast-paced kind of tanky CI build that also packs pretty heavy punch, it's a pretty good option. Now I'm probably... Ooh, them spikers. Maybe I should slow down a bit. It is Vuln and monster damage, and we happen to get porcupines in our build guide. That's okay. I'm probably just gonna hit up the bosses and then port on out. Not gonna go through the entire map. But you get the idea. I think this is the bosses here, so we'll swap in our concentrated effect. Should be able to take them out pretty quickly. And they are dead. Go a little bit further. Why not? Basically what the build does, you get to throw down your poison, and even up into T14 maps I was one-shotting white packs with one cast of Bladefall, sometimes the blue packs. Pretty strong stuff, other than porcupines, which have been the only real threat so far. It's kind of funny that I found them in the one map I chose to record. You're generally safe because you can move around so quickly that most enemies don't even come close to ever hitting you. But yeah, that's the build. Hope you like it. Hope you try it out. And thanks for watching.